They maintain this silence out of fear. The reputation has to come first. We are purposely isolated. We are not to have anything to do with the world. So there are about 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses in the world today. They have a belief that we are living in the time of the end. Door-to-door activity is paramount, and that's what Jehovah's Witnesses are known for. I was a child, 5 years old, when my mother and father became Jehovah's Witnesses, so I really knew nothing else. It was inculcated in me that all the other religions were false. They were under Satan, the devil's influence. I took it very seriously. I became an elder. An elder is someone that has the responsibility to teach, to stand on the platform and give talks. I really didn't allow myself to even discuss or think, I wonder if this is right. They are able to control how you think, and if you don't agree with their beliefs, you can get yourself into trouble. There is a cover-up of sexual abuse. I now know and can tell you with certainty that it is very, very prevalent. I was sexually abused by a Jehovah's Witness. I didn't do anything about that. To be honest, when it was first happening, I didn't know what was happening. When I was old enough to find out or know what was happening, I was then so embarrassed I didn't want to talk about it. I discovered then later that the person who abused me had gone on to abuse another member of my family. What was seriously catastrophic was finding out that my own daughter at 15 or 16 came forward to tell me about her abuse. That caused a great consternation within the congregation because the elder who abused my daughter was very popular. So you have people saying, no, he wouldn't do that. She must be lying. The youngster is seen as a troublemaker. Later, other people came forward, and that abuser of my daughter was taken to court with 4 victims and was found guilty. I can tell you that my daughter only wanted an apology. Because they didn't, she decided to take Jehovah's Witnesses to court, as did many other people. In most of those cases, Jehovah's Witnesses have settled out of court, but made the victims sign a disclaimer to say, we won't tell anyone. I'm not saying that all Jehovah's Witnesses are child abusers or are bad. Obviously, that's not the case. However, Jehovah's Witnesses have never really said, we have a problem. They have what we call a 2-witness rule. And it is the Bible that says that before a matter can be proved, you need 2 witnesses. In a case of child sexual abuse, or any sexual abuse, it's going to be very difficult to get 2 witnesses. We had an adult female that was raped by an elder, and it was the same elder that abused my daughter. The congregation elders said, oh, that's a shame. One's an adult and one's a child. We can't say that that's 2 witnesses. There's a very common phrase within Jehovah's Witnesses that we have to watch our behavior, that it doesn't bring reproach on Jehovah's name. So they maintain this silence out of fear. And so the reputation has to come first. We are purposely isolated. To be disfellowshipped is to be officially thrown out of the organisation. It's an announcement that's made where the person's name is read out and they are told that Mr. XXX is no longer a Jehovah's Witness. That's a signal that the congregation have nothing to do with that person. I have 2 daughters that are disfellowshipped. So as a dad, I wanted to help them. But as a Jehovah's Witness, I wasn't to have anything to do with them. And so for about 10 years, my wife and I shunned our daughters. I got myself in trouble many times because I did try to help my daughters. And on those occasions, I would be visited by other elders telling me off. I was being controlled. My thinking was being controlled. This is what God wants. When my daughters did something wrong, I went and reported them, because that's what you're supposed to do. My own demise in the faith, I suppose, came when at one of those meetings, when I was being seen by two senior elders, one of them said to me, "Give up your daughters and stay an elder." And I had the most unusual experience where I was up in the corner of the room looking down on the three of us. And I now know that that's extreme stress. It's like an escape mechanism. But at the time, I didn't know what was happening. And then I came to and realised, this is ridiculous. I can't do this anymore. So politely, I just said, "I'm really sorry. I'm finished. You won't be seeing me anymore." I felt this whoosh of emotion and stress just leaving me. And I remember jumping and punching the air and thinking, my goodness, I'm free. I went home and told my wife, who remained a good Jehovah's Witness for another 10 years, and I supported her until she too came to a realization that something was very, very wrong. And I realized I had been misled all those years. I didn't get an education, I didn't go to college, I didn't go to university. I would have liked, for instance, to have joined the police force. I couldn't do that because you had to say an allegiance oath to the Queen. We regret, and I regret, that for 50 years I was controlled. But we don't blame my mum and dad. We know that they were in a cult, we were in a cult. My daughters were coming up in a cult. Thank goodness they got out. We enjoy things like Christmas, birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Halloween, bonfire night, you name it, things that you cannot do as a Jehovah's Witness. Life is good.